On the vibrant streets of Brooklyn, New York, where the pulse of the city beat day and night, an extraordinary tale of love, compassion, and unexpected connections unfolded. This story was not just about people, but also about two homeless cats, Miso and Suki, whose paths crossed with a newly engaged couple, Janelle and Rob. It all began when Janelle and Rob moved into their new apartment in a quiet Brooklyn neighborhood. The couple, busy unpacking boxes and arranging their belongings, were excited to start their new life together. They loved the apartment's large windows that overlooked the bustling street, allowing them to feel connected to the city's energy. However, it wasn't just the view that caught their attention. As they settled in, they noticed two curious faces peering in through their window, a scruffy orange cat and a sleek black one. The cats, clearly homeless, looked hungry and curious. Jan and Rob were both animal lovers, and seeing the two cats, who seemed to be a pair like them, tugged at their hearts. The couple quickly became fascinated by the two felines, who would often return to the windowsill as if watching over the new tenants. Each evening, the cats would reappear, staring inside with wide, hopeful eyes. Moved by their persistence and apparent hunger, Rob decided to leave out some food. To his surprise, the cats devoured the meal hungrily before retreating into the shadows, only to return the next day for more. Jan and Rob began to refer to the cats as Miso and Suki, inspired by the Japanese dishes they loved to share during their cozy nights together. As days passed, the bond between the couple and the cats grew stronger. Miso, the more vocal of the two, often mewed insistently as if demanding entry, while Suki, quieter but no less affectionate, followed Miso's lead. The couple began to leave their windows slightly open, allowing the cats to come closer. Miso and Suki would now perch on the windowsill, grooming each other and sometimes even brushing against Jan's hand as she reached out to pet them. The connection they felt toward the cats wasn't merely one of pity for homeless animals. Jan and Rob saw a reflection of their own relationship in Miso and Suki. The way they took care of each other, always sticking together, echoed the love and companionship Jan and Rob shared. The couple soon felt that these cats had chosen them for a reason, as if fate had brought them together. However, one evening, as Jan was petting Suki, she noticed something that concerned her. Suki's belly seemed unusually swollen. At first, Jan thought it might be due to malnourishment, but as she continued to observe the black cat's condition, a new possibility began to form in her mind. Could Suki be pregnant? The idea filled her with a mix of excitement and concern. Rob shared her worry. They both knew that stray cats often had hard lives, and the thought of Suki giving birth to kittens while living on the streets troubled them deeply. They decided they couldn't leave things to chance. They needed to take Suki to the vet to confirm if she was indeed pregnant and to make sure both she and her potential kittens would be safe. But how were they to transport the cats? Suki and Miso, despite their growing affection for Jan and Rob, were still very much wild at heart. They were wary of being picked up or confined. Jan came up with a solution. She purchased a couple of cardboard pet carriers from the local pet store, hoping that Miso and Suki would be calm enough to be placed inside for their trip to the vet. The next morning, after a tense struggle to coax the cats into the carriers, Jan and Rob hurried to the veterinary clinic, nervous about what they might learn. The veterinarian, a kind woman named Dr. Peterson, examined Suki carefully. Jan and Rob waited anxiously, their hearts pounding as they tried to decipher the vet's expression. After what felt like hours, Dr. Peterson returned with news that both worried and elated them. Suki was indeed pregnant and would give birth very soon. Jan and Rob exchanged glances, feeling a profound sense of responsibility wash over them. These weren't just two stray cats anymore. They were about to become a family, and in a way, so were Jan and Rob. They knew they couldn't turn their backs on the situation now. With Suki's labor imminent, the couple quickly set up a cozy, safe space in their apartment. They filled the room with blankets and a soft bed, preparing for the arrival of the kittens. Miso, meanwhile, showed an impressive level of concern for Suki. He never left her side, pacing around the room anxiously and rubbing against her as if offering comfort and support. His protective behavior only deepened the bond Jan and Rob felt toward the feline couple. A few days later, in the early hours of the morning, Suki went into labor. Jan and Rob stayed with her, offering quiet encouragement as Miso stood vigil, never straying far from her side. As the hours passed, Suki gave birth to 7 healthy kittens. The tiny creatures mewed and squirmed, their eyes still closed, as they instinctively sought out their mother's warmth. Miso, for his part, sniffed each kitten cautiously, his usual playful demeanor replaced with a seriousness that made Jan and Rob chuckle. The birth of the kittens marked a turning point for the couple. They reached out to the Little Wanderers NYC Rescue Center, an organization dedicated to helping stray and abandoned animals in the city. The center agreed to help with the care of the kittens, ensuring that they would receive proper medical attention and vaccinations. They also arranged for Miso to be neutered and vaccinated, ensuring that he would remain healthy and no longer contribute to the stray cat population in Brooklyn. As the days turned into weeks, Jan and Rob watched with amazement as Suki and Miso took on their roles as parents. Suki nursed the kittens diligently, her thin body now filled with a mother's strength. Miso kept a watchful eye on his growing family, always nearby, always attentive. Jan and Rob couldn't help but feel a deep sense of admiration for the 2 cats. They had survived the harsh streets of Brooklyn, found each other, and now they were creating a new life together. The kittens, as expected, were adorable bundles of fur. Each one had a unique pattern and personality, and Jan and Rob quickly fell in love with them. But as much as they adored the kittens, they knew they couldn't keep all 7. With the help of Little Wanderers, they began the process of finding forever homes for the little ones. The rescue center made sure each kitten was adopted by a loving family, ensuring that they would never have to experience the hardships their parents had endured. As the kittens were placed in their new homes, Jan and Rob were faced with a decision of their own. Should they keep Miso and Suki, or should they try to find homes for them as well? The couple had grown so attached to the cats that the thought of saying goodbye was heartbreaking. They had become a part of their lives, and their story of survival, love, and companionship had left a lasting impact on Jan and Rob's hearts. And the decision was easy. Jan and Rob couldn't imagine their lives without Miso and Suki. The cats had chosen them, just as they had chosen each other. They had been through so much together, and now it was time to give Miso and Suki the home and the love they had always deserved. With the kittens happily settled in their new homes, Miso and Suki remained in the Brooklyn apartment that had become their sanctuary. The once homeless cats had found not only a safe place to live, but also a family who loved them unconditionally. Jan and Rob's hearts were full, knowing they had made a difference in the lives of these cats, and in return, the cats had given them something priceless, a deeper understanding of love, resilience, and the beauty of second chances. Life in Brooklyn continued, with its noise, its traffic, and its vibrant energy. But in one small corner of the city, a couple and their 2 cats found peace. Miso and Suki, no longer wandering the streets in search of food and shelter, spent their days lounging in the sunlight that streamed through the apartment windows, their bellies full in their heart's content. The story of Miso and Suki spread throughout the neighborhood, and Jan and Rob became known as the couple who had taken in 2 stray cats and given them a family. It was a story that resonated with the people of Brooklyn, many of whom had encountered stray animals in need of help. It reminded them that even in a city as large and as bustling as New York, acts of kindness and compassion could make a world of difference. In the end, Jan and Rob's decision to open their home to Miso and Suki wasn't just about rescuing 2 cats. It was about creating a family. It was about love in all its forms, and about the connections that bind us, whether we walk on 2 legs or 4. Miso and Suki had found their forever home, and in doing so, They had changed the lives of Jan and Rob forever. Their story is a reminder that sometimes the most unexpected moments can lead to the greatest joys. All it takes is a little compassion, a little patience, and a willingness to open your heart to the possibilities of love. In the vibrant streets of Brooklyn, two homeless cats found their happily ever after, and in doing so, they helped Jan and Rob find theirs too.